Hi everybody, let's talk about Deathless King Groot. I'm sure a lot of players like myself, especially those that fans of King Groot as a champion in Marvel Contest of Champions, want to know what this character you're investing so much time, effort in order to get is going to be like. It's going to be about the 4th of April when you see the champion as a purchasable option, whether or not you're getting it as a 6-star or a 7-star. So let's get into it. We're also going to be looking to switch between in-game to kind of compare off the abilities, and of course covering things as much as possible. Let's get this a bit more kind of zoomed in for everybody. So, yeah. What does Kabam basically, in a nutshell, talk about the mechanics? There's kind of like, I think, go off this because it is going to be important. So King Groot Deathless takes the methodology set forward with Guillotine Deathless and applies it to King Groot's kit. Since King Groot's update was significant improvement over his launch kit, we have decided to keep that as the base and build on top of it from there. With the Deathless version, we have opted for an Incinerate theme making over in the light of his new look. To accomplish this, we have sacrificed some of the potency in his regeneration buff gained with his signature ability to add in a loop where you can build a resource and cash it out to enhance the potency of the Incinerate debuff he inflicts on his SP2. This Incinerate replaces the poison from the old kit and comes with some spicy new VFX work. Lovely. I like that. There's a bit of it's obviously very weird. Hey, he's made of wood. Hey, or living bark or organic bark. Hey, he can fire flames. Flames and wood. They go together all right, don't they? Yeah, they go together very much. But I suppose he's going to be a bit charred. So, not Richard, but charred. So he'll be charred wood. So he's going to be ancient charcoal starting the formation of coal. Anyway, I don't want to go too much into that theorization of kind of like stuff. It's a bit weird. Of course, he gets armor break, incinerates, as we know, regeneration. I suppose you get more of a choice. Your champions to take against him. Of course, it'd be stagger champions, nullify champions. And weaknesses, Malice triggers on and off fixed durations, so it can be tricky to play into King Groot's intended loops and cash out before your window of opportunity suddenly shuts. So that's going to be important as well. Like, okay, great, I can do my high amounts of like incinerate damage. No, you've missed out the opportunity. So I guess that's the thing, isn't it? Timing is so essential. I'm pretty excited for this, but I am still worried about that regeneration nerve, so to speak. So he's immune to power drain and power burn effects. I keep forgetting. Like I should make sure I know this. Is King Groot, and I've saved up, ready to do as King Groot? Yeah, he is immune to that. I always forget that. Sometimes it's difficult because it's like, oh, this is an option for stuff, and then it's like, oh, you forget. Sometimes you forget. It's a problem with getting older sometimes, and the game being as complex, it's trying to remember what, off the top of your head, what 250, 260, maybe 270 champions do, and their interactions. Tough, man. But there, by the grace of God, we continue on. Unless otherwise stated, personal buffs each provide X amount of attack, and that's for 14 seconds. When inflicted with a debuff, spend one personal Fury buff to remove the effect after 0.5 seconds. When a personal buff is spent, Fury buff is spent, gain an indefinite ignition buff, max stacks of 3. I guess this is how you then build the damage potency when it comes to Fury, so that's exciting. And Kabam say the ability to remove incoming debuffs at a cost of a Fury buff is an important piece of utility. Note that this is no longer a Purify and will not interact with Purify punishing mechanics. So that's good. It kind of separates itself away. A lot of the time for situations you might be like, oh, I'll take a skill-based champion because this, like, Kingpin, Misty Knight, Mole Man, and so many others, skill have that kind of cleanse, Atuma, Baron Zemo, whatever, means that he is limited to only one debuff for each Fury buff he has active at any given time. So yeah, it's just a case of like, just another option for stuff. I need to get to whether or not it changes the dynamic of, the longer the fight goes on, the more you can do when it comes to damage of Fury and also regenerate rate as well. Similar to above, the cooldown timer here is slightly shorter than the one found on the original King Groot's kit, down to 12 seconds from 13 seconds. This is to keep the full 26 seconds rotation consistent between both kits despite the small shift. The chance to gain Fury charges is also increased to 30% from 20% to mimic some of the effects the original King Groot gains from synergies and relics. That's good then. That's kind of like it's built into the Champions kit. We'll just have to kind of figure out if that's going to be working, or with a relic it's going to be amplified, or adds more synergies, it's going to be better. But that's a story for down the line. Okay, it's a heavy attack. Deal a burst of X amount of energy damage, depending on rarity. This damage is doubled while the opponent is incinerated. Pulls or incinerates and armor breaks debuffs on the opponent for 3 seconds. Spend 1 Fury buff to instead pause for 6 seconds. So that's another thing to kind of like mention on rotation. Will you be the heavy attack and pause type method, or will you do a different one? Kabam's notes are King Groot Deathless fiery new visage has inspired some tweaks to his kit. This burst of energy damage is a nice treat, but you still want to keep your armor breaks and incinerates up as long as possible. Spending Furies to pause these debuffs is a nice way to build up ignition buffs by pausing them, and they can still be paused if the debuffs themselves are already indefinite. So that's something as well that's important. I'm very much a case of putting the more permanent armor breaks on with the rotation of the SP1 first, then building to an SP2. But again, it's just down to personal preference on how you decide to play a champion. SP1. Each hit inflicts 306.82 armor break. Obviously, this is depending on rarity. These armor breaks also reduce energy resistance by 8%. Nice. And spend 1 Fury buff to make the armor break indefinite. Feeding into the fiery nature of armor breaks, reduce the opponent's energy resistance instead of their future armor up potency. Yada yada. Yeah, it works. It is what it is. SP2 wise. Each Infernal Breath hit deals a burst of 2849 energy damage. This damage is doubled against #heroes. What? Doubled? Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, I don't think we get that. It definitely don't get that, obviously, with the abilities with King Groot, which you can see on screen right now. That's handy. I am very much interested to take this champion into incursions. I'm quite excited about that. I'm not saying that's the only place to go with the champion, but I am excited to take it in a place that I personally like incursions. And of course, next month, if I'm looking for options, this could be a real positive. Especially if we're looking at #heroes. He's, most of the time. #heroes of the tech class. Read further, Richard. That's okay. Well, that's handy against tech. The final hit inflicts the Incinerate debuff, dealing X amount of energy damage over 10 seconds. Just curious if we compare that against what we've got. What is this based off? Just quickly. This is based off of... Does it not say? 6-star, 650... I can't remember what this is based off of, or what rarity this is based off. Oh, it's based off of a 565. So why that's important for me to read is that this is a rank 4 version and it's got 6008 direct damage. Now it could be a case that is, does it say the signature level of that? Could that amplify? Could that not? This is ascended. Sorry, this is an ascended one. So I can imagine from an ascended point of view, if we then had that for this, we'd probably see more than that. Where are we with that? Right. Let's read on. So, when the Incinerate triggers, consume all ignition buffs to increase the potency by 30% for each buff consumed. Okay, get a lot of buffs and fire on ignition buffs. Yeah, have a lot of ignition buffs, do a lot of damage. That's it. Spend 1 Fury buff to double the Incinerate duration. This is your cash out moment if you have built up 3 ignition buffs. Oh, sorry, 3. You can only have 3, can't you? Sorry. That That could be quite nice, but, you know, 3 times. 90%. You only get 90%. So then this will attack. The attack will hit like a truck. Okay, cool. Nice. I'll have to fully test it. Like, I'm speculating on percentages and stuff without. It's always, I think it's always important to take it in into fights. SP3. I love the SP3 for just topping up health. Regeneration buff, recovering X amount over 3 seconds. This regeneration buff is paused while heal blocked, of course. Spend 1 fury to increase the regeneration buff duration by 50%. Nice. So that's how you do it. You spend it. You spend your fury buffs more as currency, as opposed to you switching between unyielding might, which, as you know, the further you go in the fight, you get better regeneration and stuff like that. So anyway, moving on. When Malice enters cooldown, you get regeneration as well. So again, that's good. More regen hope for you. This signature ability allows you to... I've just skipped over it. Oh yeah, there it is. Signature ability, Unyielding Might. Gain up to 101% increased incinerate duration based on how long the fight has gone on. So you do more incinerate damage. Excellent. And of course, sadly, you need the Awakening. When Malice enters cooldown, gain a regeneration buff, recovering 6,800. So it just keeps you more sustainable and doing more damage. So you want to go and get the signature, the Awakened ability. Signature ability allows you to significantly extend the duration of every painful incinerate from SP2. But the real showstopper is for the regeneration effect. This regeneration buff creates a great sense of ebb and flow in King Groot Deathless Kit. So that's something to note with that. Yeah, there's nothing specifically for Deathless Guillotine in this, except for each Deathless Champion, for King Groot this is, you get personal fury buff duration, so that's good. Use that for spending, whatever you need to. And of course, while the opponent is suffering from incinerate or poison, gain offensive combat power rate with King Groot, so that's good. We can test them out as well. And synergy for each unique, whatever it is, all champions gain blah 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 attack rating with some other champions. And of course, being Deathless Guillotine, for each Deathless Champion gain critical rating, which is very handy for Guillotine Deathless, if you can get that on her rather than him. But that's another story for another day. Yeah. Recommended relics, Gamora or Thor. Now I think I run the Thor, but I do opt for Gamora. Does not gain the effect in this relic that activates, but however, it still benefits greatly from the effects that all Cosmic Champions get. Ability actually blah blah blah. Yeah, I think I'd probably go with the Thor one, if I'm being honest. But there you go. That has been the video. Thank you very much for watching. What are your thoughts on King Groot Deathless? I'm actually pretty excited for it, but of course, look, I need to play the champion first. I can't give it a pass until I've actually played it and given an idea on rotation, because the rotation does it good, but it depends what you opt for and how you want to burn those incinerate effects to do the maximum amount of damage. And it does feel that you'll need the Awakened ability version. Good luck in getting that, and that should probably be in content at some point in the future. Thanks for watching. Check out some other content. Bye bye.